Hello everybody, I'm Ramses,
And I'm the Vesper.
and we're here to bring you a very special episode of Vesper's Retro Reviews.
Right, it's our 1-year anniversary.
Hard to believe it's been a year, but what a year it's been here on Vesper's Retro Reviews. For those of you that don't know what we do here, Vesper's Retro Reviews is your one-stop channel where your host, myself, Ramses, and our namesake, the Vesper, honor all things retro.
So please stick around and subscribe, like, comment, and ring that bell.
Yes, please do hit that subscribe button, especially if you're watching this through your PCs or TV or even your game consoles. One click is all it takes to enjoy retro moments once more. And tell your friends, that's Vespor, V-E-S-P-O-R, Retro Reviews. As I look back on our first year here, I think what I've realized is that our channel is a work of passion and enjoyment for the both of us. We want to enjoy what hopefully many more of you also enjoy. Retro goodness from the not-too-distant past. We are a new channel here, and we love all things nostalgic and memorable from our time growing up. Especially if you're from the best generation all, Generation X, like we are. This is the place for you. But of course, every generation and walk of life will find fun here. But I think it will hit that special sweet spot when you once again see that commercial from the 80s you forgot about, or a gameplay of one of your favorite, yet most frustrating games being played by us.
Well stated. I agree with what you said.
So yes, it's been a wonderful first year. I think we had a lot of fun here. I didn't know that looking back on all this retro stuff was going to be so fulfilling and enjoyable, but it was. We're an up-and-coming channel. I think we're going to have a lot of fun here. I think you guys are going to enjoy what we have planned for you. So definitely stay tuned. And yeah, we're going to explain a little bit about what our show is, in case you guys want to understand more what we do here. We say it's retro, but what does that mean exactly? What is retro?
Well, for us, at least what we consider retro on this channel, we consider the 70s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s to be retro for us. And what we cover with our retro reviews is all things old pop culture, video games, movies, TV shows, wrestling,
Fads, gimmicks, and pop culture. 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. All the things you remember and still love to this day. That's the motto we have here.
So anything can go here. If it's commercials or TV jingles or something obscure, we're not afraid to put it here as long as we have fun remembering it and it was part of the mainstream culture at the time. We aren't going to focus on the little itty-bitty nuances of everything. We want to remember the good, big, fun things like Thriller.
Of course, everything's available is on the table, but we really are going to try to hit that sweet spot where we're really trying to hone in on what was fun, what do people remember, what was something that brings back those nostalgic memories. Anything's open. If we had some fun with something that you may not remember, that's part of the fun too. We can introduce it to you, but it's really going to be the retro that you remember. That's what we're going to try to focus on.
And we
here.
can't emphasize enough. We will do just about anything retro if we get some good suggestions. So if you want that little nuanced thing that you love from this time period, let us know about it. We might do a full retro review on it in one of our mini series.
There's a lot of obscure stuff, but this is such a wide and full-ranging spectrum of things that could fit here. So please let us know. We are open to anything.
What you can expect to see on Vesper's retro reviews are 4 program types. The first being what started it all. Our video game co-op playthroughs. This is where Ramses and I will play a retro game that is 2-player, and we will work together to beat the game and have a little fun along the way, whether it's jokes or just taking a character in-game. Now, all this started with our WrestleFest playthroughs, and then to other classics like Smash TV, Captain Commando, Contra, G.I. Joe, and Metamorphic Force.
Also, we are doing a gameplay series of something old that is new again. Our Diablo 2 Resurrected Dual Druid playthrough, where we played the old school game Diablo 2, yet with updated graphics and patches. Same game, new look.
And what a look it is, yeesh. We plan on completing a full playthrough with us both using different druid builds, and then after that, we'll see where we take it.
Along with our co-op playthroughs, we also have single-player playthroughs, and these will be more serious and more informative. This will be where the Vesper or myself take on any retro game and attempt to perform a complete playthrough, while we talk a bit about the game and show you a full experience of what it's like to try to get through one of the harder games from our retro past. This could also include series, such as the NES wrestling game series that I was part of for our first year here, where I played through all 9 wrestling games that were found on the NES to give a full experience of what wrestling content was like, especially on the Nintendo Entertainment System. For our second year, I do plan on providing other themed single-player series. Perhaps the top baseball games from yesteryear, or wrestling games on the Game Boy, or maybe the SNES. Stick around and see what we decide on. Or, of course, suggest what you would like to see, either by the Vespor or myself, as we both play games here.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
That's right, and ring that bell, folks.
That's not to say that some of our playthroughs won't be a little bit more lighthearted and tongue-in-cheek, like my Street Fighter II playthrough attempts that were anything but easy and lead to a lot of laughs on my excellent playing style to finally overcome and take down M. Bison.
After an hour or two, yes.
That's because I had to try every strategy possible.
He's the expert, folks.
Our second series that we started during our first year is our Back in Time series. And this is going to be more of a retrospective than either one of us do when looking back at a subject or looking directly at something together. These will be short episodes of roughly 15 minutes or less, as these aren't reviews, but just looks back into the past with our own opinions thrown in.
The Back in Time series can have different flavors as well. It could be one of us talking about a subject that was special to us growing up. It could be looking at something quickly together that doesn't need a full review, but we want to give a quick thought about it in retrospective look. Or what seems to be our most popular version of our Back in Time series, our look back at retro commercials together. So far we have looked at commercials based around Christmas, Halloween, and 80s jingle commercials, and it's a lot of fun to do. It really does take us back in time, which is what the idea of the Back in Time series actually is. Expect to see more advertisement-based Back in Time episodes this year as well. Again, feel free to suggest what you would like us to do in these Back in Time series.
Now, where our Back in Time series is short and a quick look at something, our main series here on Vesper's Retro Reviews will be our own Retro Reviews. This is where we do a full, complete, no limits, full attention, and full review, looking at everything in relation to an event, movie, or TV series.
Everything nostalgic and fun is an option here. We have already reviewed Season 1 and the pilot episode of the A-Team TV series. Be sure to check those out if you haven't yet. Season 2 of our A-Team review is heavily in production and should be out sometime this year as well, along with our look back at old school WrestleMania events. So far we have the first WrestleMania. I hope you guys have checked that out. We're going to go in order, so we're going to try to get the second and third, hopefully third also this year. And our newest review series, our serial-based reviews, where we will review serial advertisement campaigns that we remember growing up. We just completed our Honeycomb Hideout review that I think anyone who grew up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s will get a real kick out of. And as we both discovered, you don't even have to like Honeycomb cereal to enjoy the commercials involved with them. And movies from the past.
We plan to do a lot more movie reviews this year. We have a lot of ideas on continuing the series with some really classic, must-see retro movies that any fan of the 80s or 90s would like. For example, Back to the Future, War Games, Goonies, the Harry Potter series, and many more of your favorites. Besides movies, we plan to expand our TV series reviews as well, and hopefully for this year, we'll be able to get out a couple of seasons of Knight Rider.
Oh boy, yeah, we're already talking about that. That'll be our next TV series, so stay tuned for that one. We've been watching a lot of old school cartoons lately, so hey, that could show up here too.
You know, we could watch something obscure like Visionaries.
Oh yeah, that was a fun one. The goal here for our review series is really to give you a complete look at something. Not just a simple and effortless quick look back on something and say, here you go, enjoy, we just slap them together. But really reviewing it. The history, the characters, the actors, overall positives and negatives of the series of specific episodes, or of each segment of a specific event that we're discussing. With that effort to detail and focus, of course our episodes will take a little more time to get completed, but we do feel like the time and energy and devotion put into our reviews is more than worth the wait, and we hope you'll agree as you stick around and see what the future holds here on Vesper's Retro Reviews.
Now, our newest show that we plan to add for this year is a countdown series. You know them, you love them, the top 10 countdown format. But this is going to not be your usual top 10 list series that so many others do.
Exactly. We wanted to do something really different here. Not just the same old, but something really different and mix it up. Something that doesn't just count down our top 10 favorite songs or favorite moments, or as our first countdown series is going to focus on cartoon series openings from various cartoons over the years. So while we will be counting down our top 10 favorite of a certain subject, we're also going to have a bit of variety show going on around it. A storyline, some humor, and maybe even some information through our attempt at humor, attempt being the key word, to teach you something that you may or may not have known about the subject that we're discussing in the countdown. We think it'll be a lot of fun, and we have some great ideas for this, so be sure to stay tuned for our countdown series. Again, it's not going to be your typical top 10 countdown. This is going to be something a little different. I think you guys will enjoy it.
And that's exactly what we do here, and we're looking to grow and bring in more shows as we come across new and better ideas. We will have our gameplays, both co-op and single player. our Back in Time series, our retro reviews, and our newest segment that is still in the works, our Countdown series. We think this more than covers the nostalgic retro spectrum with variety, but not spreading our content out too thin or deviating with something that has no focus or theme around it. We are a retro channel, and we will have fun by showcasing retro elements, and we aren't really going to move away from that. However, we might review some things that you think may be silly, but hey, that's also part of being retro. You gotta remember the good and the bad.
That's right. Retro was silly, and especially looking back on it now, and I think that's part of the fun. While you're here, you'll know exactly that it's something retro-related from your past that you're still going to love reliving and experience once more. We promise you. We're going to make it as much fun as possible looking back on all the stuff from yesteryear.
And before we wrap up our look back at our first year, I just want to thank those who have taken the time to provide feedback and to watch our content and give us a chance. Ramses and I have known each other for a very long time now, well over 2 decades, so everything we experience here together once more through our gameplays, reviews, and banters is like opening up a door to our past once more, and we hope you will get a kick out of it too, reliving some of our past memories together with us.
Yes, the Vespor and I have known each other for a long time, as he said. We're just 2 friends who enjoy talking about old school aspects and wanted a place where we can showcase what we do all the time anyway, while hanging out. Talking about movies, talking about games or shows that we grew up with. We know we can't be alone in our love of retro stuff. We know from our own experience, you can just walk up to anyone who grew up in the 80s or 90s and talk of a movie that was out during that time period and have a fun, nostalgic conversation with them. Hopefully that's what we can do here as well for fans that find their way to our little neck of the woods here on this channel.
It was a fun first year, and just like in the movies, you gotta start small, and in the sequel, you gotta do it even bigger and better. So hit that subscribe button, comment, and like. The support means so much, and we promise you we won't let you down. You will definitely have fun here, or else. Ramses can attest to that. I don't really beat him up in some of our videos, only mildly abuse him, right?
He's kidding, folks, I think. Thanks for a fun first year, though, everybody. Please feel free to comment below if you have any questions, feedback, or ideas for us. We would love to hear them. More to come. Stay tuned, everyone, for year 2 of Vesper's Retro Reviews.